Today we have another based Irish patriot, an older lady here from Balladaireen, County Roscommon, okay, and is talking to Philip Dwyer, of course. And this one is pretty based, man, so I had to give a reaction to this because I actually missed it a few months ago, but it actually came out 3 months ago. Yeah, when it first came out, I said I have to give a reaction to this because very, very based. This lady knows exactly what's happening. We're about to do a little deep dive into it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below, you know, how great you think that this lady is, because she's a great speaker, really, really intelligent, knows exactly what's going on, very awake to everything. Let's hear it.
We are walking because there's a measure of discontent in the town, and the walk here was sparked off by an alleged racist or incident. Can't call it any name, but
you could possibly call it a racist incident. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, I have known racist incidents where people haven't let me pass on the street, but youngsters. We have a lot of young men who are not working, who have accommodation. That my son certainly couldn't get any accommodation when he came back from Australia. So there's not been one single racist incident.
What's your first name? Sorry, do you want to move this way out of the way of the traffic?
Not one single Garvey.
Margaret Garvey.
There hasn't been one single racist incident. Most people here are like me, went away to work in England and came back, where our leaders assure us we were welcomed. Well, we weren't always welcomed, and we worked. And we've nothing against people who don't work. We are people fleeing from war. But everybody who's in Balladaireen at the moment, who's using up all the housing, no housing for the local people, everybody now in Balladaireen they're not contributing to the community in any way.
It's like they haven't had enough now, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, guys. I mean, you have to work, you have to contribute to the community. I like the way she said that. You know, because if you're not working, guys, you know, you're not really adding to the country in any way. You're kind of just sitting on your ass, you know, you're not doing much. You know, you're kind of a layabout. It's really not a good place to be, right? Really not at all.
Yeah,
this is the straw that's breaking the camel's back.
This is the straw, and people are reasonable and good and welcoming, and this is a wonderful community, but it's been fragmented.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's not just here, Margaret, it's all over the country that these migrants have been moved in that have no purpose here. They don't have anything to do. They don't have any credentials. We don't know what any documents about where they're coming from or who they are, and it's a recipe for this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly, guys. If you could do background checks on people, it's one thing. You know, even that, I mean, that should be heavily curtailed in my opinion. But if you could do background checks, but for some reason, no background checks, no nothing, people are just pouring in. I mean, nobody knows anything, then nobody's working, you know, they can't get a girlfriend, let's say. It's a very violent possibility, you know, what could happen. You know, this is like a recipe for disaster, you know, because you have certain elements that are happening. You're sitting at home all day, you can't get a girlfriend, you want to go out, you want to party, you know, maybe you get money from the state, and then what's going to happen? You know, violence is going to occur.
We're well able to differentiate between people fleeing from war and people just migrants. Right. Yeah. And at the moment, Balladaireen cannot take any more. We have only 2 doctors. The schools, we don't want more services, if that means more people.
No, that's not the answer.
That's not the answer. We need to
Yeah, so she's made a good point there. We don't want any more people if you don't have the services for it. Because then more people equals more services equals more people, but people aren't going into those services. They're just being layabouts.
The schools, we don't want more services, if that means more people.
No, that's not the answer.
That's not the answer. We need to recognise that a very small community, about 2,300 people is on the census.
Now, Margaret, I'm concerned here because I've been following this kind of issue for the last 4 years, and I've created my own media set up here, but the local politicians here that are coming here to try and tell you to protest against this, most of them have been on board with all of this, bringing in all these people, unvetted or vetted or whatever it is, and I'd hate to think that the good people of Balladaireen would be hoodwinked here, you know, today.
Well, I have a young daughter, a nurse, came back from England to nurse here. It took her ages to get vetting. Ages.
They don't want her back, you see, that's the problem. The Australian nurses during COVID, they wanted to come back and they didn't want them back either.
Yeah, well, what a big hoax that was. And however,
have you any political affiliations at all yourself?
No political affiliations.
And who did you traditionally vote for, can I ask you?
I lived in England for a long time. I suppose because my father was in the army and a civic guard later, we would traditionally maybe be Fine Gael. But when you begin to see through and realise they're all the same, they deliver the same thing.
I like this lady, open and honest. You know, most people would vote for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael in this country, but then you kind of start to see through the BS. The last few years, especially after the lockdowns, let's just say, everyone's becoming so woke now. And I don't mean woke in the bad way. I mean awoken to what the hell is going on, okay? People are being more conservative. They're saying, what the hell is happening to the small cities? You know, I think in this one, someone got assaulted or something. I'm going to have to look into it. But, yeah, just crazy stuff happening all over the country. In these, like, tiny towns, man. It's just outrageous.
Changed by Europe anyway. Yeah. And we have no sovereignty.
Yeah, it's true. We're controlled by Europe, she said. I'll replay that. But Europe dictates everything. We have all these international obligations. You know, this is some bullshit that the government have made up, guys. Like, we have no obligation as a people. We are an island, okay, on our own. Yeah, fair enough, Northern Ireland, England kind of does their own thing. They don't bother us too much. We're our own country, lads, all right? An island. We don't have to be begging and kissing up to Daddy EU, Daddy EU. We don't have to be, you know, sucking up to them in any way or aspect. But apparently we're controlled by them because, you know, we don't have any of our own money. You know, we should be creating stuff and pushing, you know, entrepreneurs in this country. That's how you make loads of money. Like, look at Elon Musk and these people. They all go to the US. Like, why aren't they coming here? We should have our own sort of entrepreneurs, not just relying on these, you know, massive companies from the US and corporations, you know, through flipping medical device companies, Google, Amazon, IT headquarters. It's ridiculous. 12.5% tax. If we didn't have that tax, we would be a poor country. Very poor. Everyone keeps calling us one of the richest countries in Europe. We're one of the poorest countries in Europe if you take that away.
The same thing. We're dictated by Europe anyway.
Yep.
And we have no sovereignty.
Yep.
They're pretending we have, and they're always talking about small communities and input and small people. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I can see it.
The people don't have a say. You know, the input from the people means nothing. We don't vote on anything here. The last thing that we voted on was gay marriage. Who cares about that? That's something that people cared about in the 80s. The gays are fine. They're free. Now about the safety of the people. How about that? Can we talk about the safety of the people, the education, how to make loads of money? Let's talk about that for a while. How to make loads of money as an Irish citizen so nobody leaves the country. Everyone's leaving the country. You know, nobody from the age of 25 to 30 lives here anymore. I don't know anyone, guys. It's crazy.
For years.
What do you want to say to the government, the local TDs here? Basically, the people who've been running this country for the last 10, 20 years, what would you like to say to them? Because they will be watching.
Well, you're putting me on the spot now. I need to have a dictionary with me, actually, and I'm not a lexicographer either. Yeah. I would like to say, don't pretend that you're for the people. Just tell us the truth.
Yeah.
You are dictated by Europe.
Yeah.
You removed any legislation that protected the most vulnerable, which was the child in the womb.
Yeah.
You're introducing euthanasia and many other things besides that. But life begins and ends, and you can't interfere in it. But don't give us platitudes and change language. Don't change language and make us believe.
Change language. Like I always say on my channel, guys, language is important. You see me reacting to all these rap videos and all these type of videos. This is language. Language is very serious and very important, and the way you use it, the way you speak, is everything. You know, and it's also nothing when people insult you and talk nonsense, but when the people are talking down to you, it's everything. Okay, it's absolutely everything. And you have to listen to words carefully. Changing language, changing the woman, changing the man. Leo Varadkar, the worst Taoiseach of all time, he tried to change language about woman and a child in the womb and etc., etc. Insane. We don't want any of that in Ireland. I mean, these people aren't for the people. I could have told you that. Like, it's just crazy stuff.
Life begins and ends, and you can't interfere in
Absolutely.
it. But don't give us platitudes and change language. Don't change language and make us believe that a man and a woman are the same as each other. They're not. They're complementary. Have I said too much?
Margaret,
dude, I love this lady. This lady's amazing. A man and woman are complementary. Have I said too much? Ooh, man, I'd vote for her. I mean, you know, this is the thing. We need older people that are based. You know, we don't need these young hippies, and we don't need these older woke, you know, boomers. I mean, it's so embarrassing when your parents. Thank God my parents aren't like that. These woke weirdos. When you're this woke sort of hippie, you know, and you're older, especially. That's fine when you're a little young kid in college. You don't know what's going on. You're like, oh yeah, everything's fine. You know. Bro, when you're over 25 years old, you better get with it, man. I swear to God.
Give us platitudes and change language. Don't change language and make us believe that a man and a woman are the same as each other. They're not. They're complementary.
Facts.
Have I said too much?
Margaret, it's very refreshing to meet a woman like yourself that is so awake to what's really happening. You're obviously not buying the lies of RTE and the politicians.
Well, it's not what RTE tell us, it's what they don't tell us.
Oh yeah.
Lie by on me.
Powerful words. It's not what RT don't tell us, it's what they don't tell us. By the time the news has got to us, guys, we're the last to know. A lot of people don't think that. A lot of people know that. You know, when they say breaking news, we're actually the last in the process to know, as in the people, the citizens, right? Amazing. Margaret, I mean, very educated. She seems like she's like, what, a doctor, a nurse, something like that. Really educated.
Mission.
Lie by omission. It's very difficult to get the real truth. There are people in America who make films like the Unreported Truth film, McAleer and Anne McElhenney. Have you heard of them?
No.
There's the untold stories. They make films up against everything they are. But it's nice to talk to you.
Amazing. She's based.
Excellent, and thank you very much for being so frank and honest. Thanks very much.
I absolutely love this lady. Wholesome older lady, let's say, but not old, because her mind is young. She speaks better than most people in the 30s in the Dáil up there. Just putting that out there. I love you all. If you guys want to, help me, I can't do it without you guys. Become a member of the channel. Just click on the button memberships, or buy some merch, or subscribe to my Patreon. 200 block videos over there. I love you all, my beautiful patriots of Ireland, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.